So this is where I have my printer right now, on the floor, nice and silent, because concrete, a little bit of carpeting, just removes all the vibrations. Print's been going for 4 hours 25 minutes. It's got 5 hours 2 minutes left, so been going for quite a while. I did have to stop it because, as I talked about previously, it kind of lifted up. So as you can see, this one hasn't. I didn't lose a whole lot of time on the last one though, so that's pretty nice. But this one hasn't lifted at all yet. I hope it doesn't, because if it does, that would be kind of bad. Hopefully nothing comes loose on the machine. I have had that issue with a previous print. It was going for like 8 hours. And then the pulley in there got all loose, and well, the pulley in there is loose. How's it gonna move? So that print failed. Actually, I think I still have that right here. As you can see, rip this print. Yeah, no good. I was printing it super fine, like 0.05 millimeter layer height. Then it, skipped, and that was upsetting, and it was a little time sensitive, so I had to reduce the quality, but it still turned out really well. So this is sort of, I don't know, test 3 maybe, of my fixes. I didn't put any Loctite on there. I probably should have. I didn't have any because I'm at a dorm. I did just tighten down both grub screws as tight as I could. So hopefully that'll work enough. And I didn't use a cheap Allen wrench. I have a nice set, so they didn't strip or anything. I do have enough PLA for this. I've got a bunch of other rolls, but they're in different colors. So if I run out of white, then I'll probably switch to gray, which I've got a decent amount left. I was printing a bunch of benchies to test it. So one of the things that I had just done is I was using these calipers, big calipers, measure rough measurement of my head just so I can see how this is going to fit. This is the base, the lower piece, and it'll be sort of at the bottom of my head, a little below the jawline. And I should have a decent amount of space on both sides. I don't know, like 5 millimeters on both sides, max. And that's honestly a little much, but that'll give me room for padding and any electronics. So that'll be cool. It's just so silent. The loudest parts are these fans. I'm gonna replace them with some Noctua ones because those things are real quiet. And once I do that, you won't even be able to hear it. I already get scared because it's behind my mini fridge, which is behind my desk. And so I'll be playing video games or whatever at my computer, and I'll get scared that this thing just shut off, and I'll try to look over and I can't. So I could get out, come all the way over here, and peek around the corner of the fridge, and oh, it's still running. I just can't hear it because I got headphones on. So that took 9 hours and 25 minutes. Actually, that was pretty much right on time with what it said it was going to take. So yeah, as you can see, if it'll focus, I think that's focused in, yeah, that looks focused. Didn't lift up at all. Come over here. It's not lifted. Back up in here, it's also not lifted. And the raft is also a lot denser. I made it a lot denser. I wanted to get the very first one. I wanted that to be just completely dense, just a thick line, but I couldn't get it. Go ahead and put that guy back. Get it ready for another print, so I'm gonna print another one right after that. But yeah, turned out really well. I mean, not much to say. So this is Autodesk Meshmixer. It's just a program where you can import STLs and stuff like that. This right here is the main helmet piece. and as you can see, it's split in two. It used to be a whole piece, but now it's split in two. And I'm actually lying, it's split into like 7s or 8. So as you can see, there's a whole bunch of different parts. So, let's see, that guy's that. Got him, 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 and him. So we got a whole bunch of different parts because this is way too big, and it would be a really stupid print to just do all in one on my printer. So I sliced it in a way that would result in a very optimal print, in my opinion. So I'm going to print them all, and hopefully we will have some very nice looking prints. I actually have imported that STL into here, so when I export, file, just export, it exports it fine, but it exports it all as one. So if I right click and go to split and then two objects, as you can see, it splits them all, and they're all right there. So gonna align those, get them printed, and it's gonna work out pretty good. I think it's gonna look good. So I went ahead and got the rest of it printed. So I got the mask glued together. I just wanted to see how it would look. Turned out pretty well. You know, looks good together. I just used some hot glue. This is all temporary. This helmet. Got the rest of the pieces printed out. I went ahead and glued this together too, very, very roughly, as you can see. I had some trouble getting the raft off of these two pieces. I just don't have a whole lot of the tools here that I do at my house, but once I get those, it'll clean up just nice. So I got it glued together like this just for one reason, and that was to see how well it fit. And my ears are a bit of a squeeze in down here, not as much as they would have been normally, or as they were with the last mask that I had, but just a little bit of a squeeze, and my head fits pretty comfortably inside. So yeah, looks like that. Mask will go on like so. Mask doesn't fit right now because of those two pieces aren't fully aligned. I am printing this guy right now, and that will go about right there. So that'll complete that look. And then all I'm missing after that are the two side pieces, which you might need to actually come up with my own, because the ones that they give you don't really fit very well, or at least the ones that the model came with. So I might need to mess with it a little bit, or glue it in a very weird way or something. So all of these guys, most of the pieces that were printed in white were printed at the same detail as this. So 0.15, that's the preset right there. Mask, 0.15 millimeter layer height. Same raft settings and everything, and I'd adjust it based on how much raft it would need and support and everything. But for this piece and these pieces, since, well, these two pieces are just massive and I printed them together. But anyways, so for this piece, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that, but it is actually using the variable layer height, and I wasn't sure where to find that option, but I found it, and so that's why I started using it. So it goes anywhere from 0.15 around the really detailed parts, like up here, this little circle thing, and up here, to 0.25, which is very fast. So that saves actually a lot of print time. So this piece saved like an hour, maybe a little more. This piece saved like 2 hours of print time just from cutting off all that. This one you can tell a little bit more. You can really see the layer lines when I shine it in the light. But once I get it sanded and everything, it won't be as visible. It just means I got to do a little more work in the sanding rather than waiting for it to print.
But yeah, pretty happy with how it's turned out so far. I mean, look at that. Or don't. It's a little bit of a sight for sore eyes right now. I think it'll turn out fine. I switched to yellow because the white that I was using started getting pretty low, and although I thought it would have enough, I wasn't wanting to risk waking up to a print that only was up to here. Felt like that would have been kind of a bad wake up. So I just switched to yellow. I'll switch back to white for the 2 earpieces, but I actually really do like this yellow color. And I am using PLA, by the way. I'm using 3D Solutech PLA. As you can see, I've been using it for a while now. But yeah, that's the PLA I'm using. I'm not sponsored or anything, doubt I ever will be, but they have good plastic. I don't know, I've been using them for years and I've never really had any issue. Although this yellow, the vacuum pack was kind of loose. So that might be something to look out for. I did have a slice error. So right here you can see that crack. When I started to lift the print off, it just snapped right in half. And I was like, oh crap, so this is really weak. No, it's not. It's just right here was really weak, and when I looked, it looked like it was 2 separate prints. So I think there was a slice error, which seems to happen sometimes with this slicer, this Prusa slicer. So the next steps, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to get rid of all this glue. Just with some rubbing alcohol, it makes it pop right off. Then I'm going to sand all these parts down, all the faces and the tops and the sides and everything, just get it nice and smooth. And then I'm going to re-glue it. At least this guy is going to stay like that. Of course I'm going to re-glue him with a stronger glue, but he will stay like that. And I'm just going to probably do some light sanding. I'm not going to glue him to this because I want to make him, you know, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Once I get that done, I think it'll look really nice. So yeah, that's where I'm at so far. I think it's turning out pretty well.